Welcome to a short video. I have a guest. It's Thomas from Tech. Hi, Thomas.
Hello.
We're in Wiesbaden, and Thomas spent almost a week with us learning Linchpin, right?
Yes, I did. I spent like 4 days hier in Wiesbaden and really enjoyed it.
Und du sprichst auch Deutsch, richtig?
Ich spreche natürlich auch Deutsch.
Yeah, so the most time we were speaking German, actually. Please tell us a little bit about yourself with Tech and what brought you here.
Yeah, so I've been with Tech for about 10 years now. Tech is a company based out of Tempe, Arizona. We are Atlassian Solutions partners, platinum level. We have a lot of expertise in setting up Confluence, Jira instances, and other Atlassian tools. Also migrating companies from legacy systems over to Atlassian tools. And that's basically what our day-to-day business is. We have a little bit expertise in plugin development as well, but that only makes maybe 10 to 15% of our business.
What made you come here, learn about Linchpin and Draw?
Well, we got basically a contact in the US who would like to install Linchpin. And they decided on it because I think it's a really cool tool to set up an intranet, to get away from the default Confluence settings that you see, which is really kind of very technical by default. Whereas with Linchpin, you have an easy way to customize it so it looks more appealing to the standard non-technical crowd in a corporation.
You now had the chance to look deeper into the product.
Yes.
And also about, we were also talking about Draw as a diagramming solution.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you learned and what stands out in your opinion about these products?
I think one of the big things about Linchpin is still the simplicity. I mean, I was here I worked on that one maybe 2 days. I got an introduction. And then I was basically let loose on our development side, and I was able to set up a internet, which kind of looks really nice within 4 to 8 hours. And
cool.
That's definitely something.
He actually broke a record on this one. So that was Adil, who's often doing these sessions, came back and said, sorry, we planned like 4 hours for this deep dive, but after 1.5, we were all through. Like either he just pretended or he actually got everything. So that was, you've been a very quick learner.
Yeah, I am. I mean, I'm technical, so I'm not really out of sales or marketing. So I do basically installations, I do plugin development, I'm very familiar with configurations. So it was not easy, but it was easier than probably from
What's the feature in Linchpin that you think you will adopt most internally at Tech?
I think I really like the personalization piece of it, because I can tailor the UI so that our sales guys see something totally different than what the, let's say, marketing people are seeing. And it's easier. I already got feedback from the looking people. I have people at our company looking at the development side, which I set up, and already got feedback. Oh, I would like to have that menu for sales because I want to have these documents quickly accessible.
So they are already like
they always started looking at it. And also for like our production rollout, I added basically to the project pages. I added a news section in the Microblog. And we always start, even though it's a dev site, I already got a response from them. Okay, that looks cool. But we got this request in from our customer. Can you take a look at this one in the Microblog? Which is quite, we usually use HipChat, but also that one is kind of a record keeping, and it's within then one project page, which then also can be, and sometimes can be then externalized to the customer. So
there's a, especially with partners, they say, is there a space between Confluence and HipChat? For a microblog, and I think there's basically two things that make a microblog worthwhile. One is threading, that you can like answer to posts, and the other is the increased persistence. So you have a deep link, and you get an email notification. You can click there, they come directly there. So it's kind of an in-place discussion. While HipChat is just like a stream. And a Confluence page is still like cumbersome.
You can recognize the threads in the conversation better than you would. There is nothing like that in HipChat, right?
What about Draw? How do you like it?
So I had a quick introduction to I/O. I used other tools before. The one feature which stand out to me was that I can quickly create a map of multiple entities with clicking on the arrows on the buttons. So it's more, seems to be in that case, it's more like a mind mapping tool. And you can really quickly set up a network of nodes where you can have descriptions, connections, these kind of things, which seems to be more difficult in other tools because you have to switch tools, you have to drag another image over into the draw area, makes a connection. That takes a long time. Draw.io seems to be very quickly and very, you can prototype these layouts really quickly without much interaction.
After the week, was that sufficient for you to introduce Linchpin to this customer that you got the order from?
I think I'm good doing the introduction for Linchpin. I started looking at all your documentation, like the kickoff meeting material, then the initial meetings where you basically talk about configurations. And I think I also got from the information talking to them, one of the big things you have to determine first is connection to the LDAP server, which attributes you want to have, especially if you're focused on personalization. You need to map these things out because otherwise you don't know where to go.
Okay, cool. Would you recommend such a trip to someone from further away, like you are, like from the US or another continent, not Europe, to come here? Is it worthwhile?
Yeah, I definitely think it's worthwhile. I mean, besides that you can see Wiesbaden, and if you come for Christmas, it's a special nice time if the weather is a little bit better. But I think I prefer having face-to-face interactions instead of going through webinars because the questions are answered quicker. They can tailor the material to you, which was in my case, was they just shortened it. I had more time to do something. Whereas in a webinar, you are basically set in a pace that is probably suitable for, I don't know, 80% of the people. But if you are in the 20%, you're getting bored really quickly and lose interest to follow it.
Yeah.
Whereas face-to-face, as I said, it's much more. You have more interactions. You also meet people that you might lean on later in the implementation process, which is always a benefit.
Cool. What do you like best?
I like that you have a really friendly, open company. Everybody seems to be happy here working, and it's always nice to come to such an environment and work with these kind of guys.
Cool. Thanks, Thomas, for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And if you want to be part of that experience yourself, just contact us. There'll be a link down below. It's pretty easy and straightforward. Have a safe trip back.
Thank you.